All right, good afternoon. We're going to call the meeting of August 2nd at 4 p.m. to order. And as soon as our Borough Secretary gets back, she could do a roll call unless you want to do that, Harold. She's right here. Oh, there she is.
Just went out to check to make sure that
Okay.
Ryan didn't drop one off before they closed the office.
Okay.
We're going to call to order, Lori. And a roll call.
Okay. Vincent Cutterford?
Here.
Joseph Seibert?
Here.
Teresa DeAndrea?
Here.
Jeffrey Miller?
Yeah.
Norman Ritchie?
Here.
Joseph Thomas?
Yes.
Paul Hadzik?
Here. And now we'll stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Teresa?
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. May God go before you today and make the rough road smooth. May his joy be your strength and his peace fill your heart. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Teresa. Okay, next is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of January 27th and the special meeting of July 6th, 2022. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes, which everyone should have had a chance to take a look at?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for both.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Councilman Thomas and seconded by Councilman Miller. And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, the minutes are approved. Treasurer's report, need a motion to accept that, which everyone should have had the opportunity to take a look at what's in the treasurer's report.
Make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I'll second.
The motion's been made by Norm Ritchie and seconded by Joe Seibert. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, treasurer's report is accepted. And next on the agenda is the approval of the bills. And we'll need a motion to approve them unless there's some kind of question that's out there on the bills.
I have one question. On the police bills. On 7/7, they purchased tires from one company, and on 7/14, they had those tires mounted by a different company. Why are we doing two different companies?
I'm trying to follow where you're at here. 7/7. Tires 580. And I'm sorry, what was the other date you said?
One was 7/7 and 7/14.
7/14. I don't know, Bri, do you have one?
They were purchased by one and put on by somebody else who's asking.
Okay, tires were purchased. Lehigh.
Oh, I had to.
Oh, we got them from Lehigh Tire.
Yeah, Paul does the mounting, the tires are bought from Lehigh, it's cheaper
Okay.
for us to buy them wholesale from Lehigh.
Does that answer your question?
Yep.
Okay. Are there any other questions? And then we'll need a motion to approve the bills.
I'll make a motion, we approve the bills.
I'll second that motion.
The motion's been made by Councilman Seibert and seconded by Councilman Thomas. And roll call vote on that, please.
Joseph Thomas?
Yes.
Joseph Seibert?
Yes.
Jeffrey Miller?
Yes.
Vincent Cutterford? Teresa DeAndrea,
Yes.
Norman Ritchie,
Yes.
Paul Hadzik.
Yes. And next on the agenda is any other items of concern? Go ahead.
Yeah, I do. I've been talking to Harold, probably for about a month or two now, about, we're gonna be putting up the new billboard down there. And I asked him, would we be able to purchase 35-foot poles from him? And he said that he has them. And I asked him, would they be willing to put it in? We pay for everything, you know? And also, we've been talking about making that a marker site down there. Because there's only 3 areas in the state left for hill climbing. So we figured it's really historical down there. So what I'd like to see, I mean, we'll pay for what we have to pay for, but I'd like to get the okay from you guys. And then also take in mind that when we were incorporated back in '01, in our charter, the Borough, Weatherly, the park, everything, when we pack it in, if something happens and we're done, you guys get everything. So as we're doing things, you guys help us. It's not like we're gonna turn around and sell the property, and I'm gonna go buy a new car or something. So the money's gonna stay here in town. So I don't know how many people are aware of that, but we have that set up that if things go sour, that you guys get about 1.5 acres of property, the building, and whatever assets we have.
This location's at the bottom of the or the Buck Mountain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any, like, I'm just gonna throw a suggestion out. I mean, if they wanna buy the pole, or, you know, however Harold wants to handle that, but I think maybe the borough should install the pole without charging them.
It's up to you guys, whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah.
I think so too.
And what do you think about the pole? I don't even know what a pole costs.
They're around $375.
To purchase the pole and install it,
We should do that.
yes.
Because we were, Pocono Mountain Visitor Bureau in Carbon County were nice enough, the year we had the COVID, we didn't spend our money on the event. So they were nice enough to give us about $4,700. It has to go towards advertising, so that's gonna pay for the board itself. The lumber, because that's all rotten, that's been up there since '02. And that'll pay to get it all, the board to put the lettering on. And then if we just do this, then we got a new, that'll outlive me. So if we could do that, it'd be great.
Well, if we could get do we need a motion? Let's do a motion that we're going to donate the pole and also the installation.
I'll make a motion that we donate the pole and the installation for that pole for the,
That's- That's been made by Joe Thomas and seconded by Jeff Miller. So the pole and the installation will be on the borough, because it is a community event, so, and like you said, it'll be our property in the end anyway, so.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else on that?
No, like I said, we're gonna start working on making that, getting the marker down there. People from the Pennsylvania Hill Climb Association have been talking to me, and we got some information together, but we couldn't get it together by what, June 1st, or what was it?
Right, yeah, it was
So what
too
we're
short
gonna
a
do is,
time.
we got all year, it has to be in by next June 1st, I believe.
Right.
So we're gonna get together, and Harold, if it's okay with you guys, Harold's gonna help. And I believe that'll be the first marker in town then?
Yeah, historical,
know.
state historical marker.
Yeah.
Okay, and on the motion in the second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, I think I did that already, but I forgot if I did it already.
No,
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 you didn't.
I was gonna remind you.
Was everything legal there that we
Yeah,
did?
well, you're gonna do a motion to amend the agenda so
Right.
that this can be, so a motion to amend the agenda to add this item for the poll for the hill climb.
Okay, do we hear a motion to amend the agenda to add this?
yes.
And that would be by Councilman Thomas and
I'll second it.
seconded by Councilman Ritchie. All those in favor say aye.
Right.
Opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. So we were legally clear there.
Now you did it right.
And then we did it.
Well, I don't do everything right.
I didn't say you did.
I know that. Okay, is there anything from the audience? Okay, if you want to stand up by that microphone and just state your name, and I guess we give you 3 minutes or so. Most people take longer than 3.
Just take your time.
Yeah.
I'm Betty Henry. I'm here concerning about the stone at Urana Park. I have talked to some of you before about that. When I started 2 years ago, you could not see the stone with the plaque on. That's at the entrance of Urana Park. That's a landmark of Weatherly. It was there when I was a child, and that's many years ago. And first you cut some of the smaller trees away so you could see it. Then you took the big trees down, the big pine trees, which was great. So now there's nothing there but the stone. Last fall, I think with Mr. Pugliner, I said to him, if he would get rid of the roots, the flower club would go and plant perennials in there. But he said this year he was going to put curbing all around it and a sidewalk in front and also landscape it. And I was just wondering if that's still in the books.
Well, what we were looking at, and we had some discussion with council, you may not know, but we had applied for a grant to put in basketball court and pickleball courts, and we were looking at the fact of possibly, what's gonna be is a whole concrete sitting area. You know where the rollerblading rink is now, in that area?
Yeah.
And we were just kicking this around as to whether we would move that stone over to that area in a sitting area. It would be a fairly large concrete, like patio area, you know, where the new thing, a court would be. And then what we would do is take out that curbing and that whole island there and just pave it over.
Well, I don't know what you have, but I'm concerned about it because that stone is a landmark that should be
Right.
kept and noticed at Urana Park.
And that's why we wanted to move it over into an area that it would have its notoriety there as a sitting area and that people could see it.
Okay, I have a complaint.
But again, we're waiting to see if we get the grant.
Oh, okay.
We should know in fall.
All right. My granddaughter was swimming at Urana Park, and she and her daughter, she has 2 little ones, swam out to the raft. And I don't know anything about this, but she asked me to present this. There must be some kind of a big pipe that's connected to the raft.
Okay.
And in the hole on the top is a big piece, this is what piece of thick rebars sticking about 12 to 16 inches out of the top of the black pipe that is attached to the raft. Dangerous, risk of a child, yeah, I can't think of it. And so anyhow, and then she says there are also loose nails on the top that should be checked and just hammered in, but there were loose nails, and she said the whole raft needs to be painted badly.
All right, we'll certainly look at those hazard areas that you discussed.
Okay?
Yes, thank
Do you
you.
have anything else?
Yes.
Go ahead.
When you stop at the stop sign at Carbon and First Street, you look at the curbing where the stop sign is. It's ridiculous. It's all broke up, all laying there loose. And that's where everybody coming into our town looks.
You mean on the corner there?
Not on the corner, yes. It's all broke up. It's not nice. And I think when people come into our town, they notice those kind of things that we don't take care of.
Well, that's not Borough. That's the property owner. We would have to go after the property owner to fix the
Well,
curbing.
then, that's what has to take
Right.
place. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Anything else from council?
Is there a question?
I know there was some discussion about some museum discussion. I don't know if that's on the agenda or if that comes after or
No.
No, it'd be
I-
now.
It'd be now, and you can get up to the mic. We've already been notified that someone from the museum is coming, and I was
Yep.
trying to
They
find
don't know
out,
that, none of them know.
what, is there an issue, or is there, and nobody knew. It's just that you guys had some
You have
questions you
some-
wanted
Some
answered.
questions? You can go right up to the mic there.
For everybody that came in, there are agendas right by the microphone.
Shay Moran, school teacher, high school history teacher here in Wesley Area School District. Not a member of the borough, don't live in the borough anymore. But a couple questions in regards to the museum complex area. A lot of renovation and the trailhead and everything, and that's great, looks great. The coal car is in a good situation too, and I'm glad to see that its placement is pretty profound and it looks pretty good where it is when you come down Hudsondale Street. My question, a couple questions about is the caboose house structure. I know there was discussion maybe a year or so ago about putting a new roof on it. And what has happened with that plan?
The roof will be going on. I just
Okay.
wasn't gonna have contractor working on top of contractor.
Oh, yeah, no, I get, okay, so it's in the works.
Yes.
Is there any plan to rehabilitate the structural integrity of that building? Because there is a wall that is beginning to fail.
Yes, well, the first step we're gonna take is to protect the building by putting a new roof on it. Then
yeah.
we'll look at the architectural
Yeah.
amenities that need to be addressed.
The museum is having a little, some rehabilitation done in the basement as well too. If the borough council members were unaware, one of the walls in the basement had collapsed, and we had taken money out of our own coffers to repair the stone structure in the basement. You know, it's a 125, 140-year-old building plus. So that is being actually it's being worked on right now as we speak, believe it or not. The contents of some of the building, the caboose house that is, are ours. There are items within the caboose house itself. Is there a plan for the borough to turn it into a storage place, or can we get our stuff out? What is the anticipated plan for the caboose house?
Answer.
What items do you have up there then?
We have several railroad items, crossing markers,
Right, okay.
switching, stuff like that. You know, things
Right.
like that. Larger pieces that would probably could go outside at a later point in time when everything is finished being rehabilitated
Right,
out there
okay.
as well. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and a bench from the original train station as well, too, that's right, yeah, yeah. But, so that was,
I mean, you're certainly gonna be able to get that out of there.
yeah,
You know.
okay,
But again, we'll be rehabbing that building step by step.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that you can pile a whole lot of money into it at one time, so. First to protect the building and make sure it's
oh,
structurally
absolutely,
sound, so.
yeah, yeah. You can come up and talk, huh? Okay.
Is
All
there
right.
additional question?
No, I'm just, the sidewalk is cracked, unless you go into the museum by the water, that water retention thing,
Okay,
it's cracked already, it's going across, so I don't know if it's because of the,
well, before they leave, we'll be checking the site.
I don't know.
Yeah, I walked across it today.
Thank you, thank you.
Any other questions? Issues, concerns?
Yeah, Joe, I'll handle that. Are you mayor today?
No,
You can have it.
no.
Does anybody have any other questions about anything at all?
I guess I'll ask you when we go to the mic.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Alicia Ritchie Quinn. I'm here on behalf of the museum committee as well. Just any updates? I know last time I was here, probably a few months ago, we agreed to at least look at some of the promotional and aesthetic pieces as we get further along in the project, and any historical facts or photographs or anything that we can provide to help beautify the space as it's going along. And I don't know if you had any more, if you've covered any more ground. I know we're literally on the ground working through the construction phase, but a lot of the printing and promotional aspects would take time as well. So just putting it out there that, again, this is what I do for a living. I'm a marketer and a content public relations specialist, so happy to help and lend the museum's assets to beautify the space and tell Weatherly's story.
Oh, appreciate it, thank you.
Anyone else have anything? Just spectators? Did you pay at the door? Okay, anything else from council? We'll move on to business. And the first order of business is the discussion of bids on phase 1 of the trail project. And Harold, I think you had some input on that.
Yes, I had, in the narrative that I had given you in your booklet, I had described some things, and we had 2 bidders on the initial phase 1. One was a Borough construction and Cobalt construction. And these prices, these bids for Borough had come in at $1,801,826.90. And then Cobalt came in at $1,884,065. These are extremely high bids. In discussions with the engineer, what we determined is we're going to go through these individual items in the bid package and see where things can be either changed or eliminated. There was some items that the engineers had not clearly specified, that the bidders had gone into what I would call a lump sum or guesstimate bid as to what it was going to be. So we're going to re-evaluate the bid specs and the drawings to see what we can do to clean this up so the prices comes in more within line. But what I'm looking from council to do is to reject these bids that had come in.
And some of them were pretty significantly higher than what we have available too, is that correct?
That's correct.
So we would need a motion to reject the bids on the phase 1 of the trail project until it could be investigated further as to the adjustments we can make to change the bid package around, I guess, and let the engineers figure out how to take out some of the items that are creating such a high bid. So if we have a motion and a second.
I make a motion that we reject the bids for the phase 1 of the trail project due to the high prices until they can get worked out and come within our specs.
Second it.
Okay, it's been made by Councilman Miller to reject and seconded by Councilman Seibert to reject. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The bids are formally rejected. Next on the business order, we have open and award the bid or bids for sale of the 2 Hudsondale properties located naturally on Hudsondale Street. We only have 1 bid.
Yeah, we only got 1 bid.
Yeah.
Look at
Okay, this looks like it's for only one of the properties at 132 Hudsondale Street. And the bid is $1,520. It's by Steve and Leanne Gaiman.
So we only have one bid.
Cashier's check. Yeah.
There's a cashier's check. The solicitor will check it out.
Has the bond, has the cashier's check, so it's 10%.
Okay, everything is good with the bid. Do we hear your motion? And keep in mind, I know we're only selling one property, but that's one property that the borough does not have to maintain any longer. And that's another property that will go on the tax rolls that will help the county school and the municipality with the taxes that are collected on the property. The maintenance alone is probably one of the worst things that we've been doing, taking care of these properties, and that all adds up over the years. And you know, we could probably put $50,000 into that property just cutting the grass over the years. So I think we should accept the bid, but it's up to you guys to make a motion and second it, and we'll take a little vote on it.
I make a motion to sell the property on 132 Hudsondale Street to Steve Gaiman and his wife for a total of $1,520.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been made by Councilman Norm, Councilman Joe, to accept the bids. Roll call vote on that.
Norman Ritchie,
Yes.
Jeffrey Miller,
Yes.
Teresa DeAndrea,
Yes.
Vincent Cutterford,
Yes.
Joseph Thomas,
Yes.
Joseph Seibert,
Yes.
and Paul Hadzik.
Yes. And, okay, they have a new owner for Hudsondale Street.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
He has to come in and sign the agreement of sale.
Can I rush it? The grass is high. All right, the,
State the other property that's still available, or I
Uh,
guess I missed that they went out to bid.
I need the,
do you have your cashier's check with you today?
I might, there's one that.
763.
That would be down by her.
That would, yes. It's, well, actually, it's book 2425, page 763, or 132 Hudsondale.
That was the one that just got approved.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, she's asking for.
Oh, for the other one.
She
Yeah.
wants the,
Oh, the other
other
one,
property.
what was it, 63? That would be book 2425, page 760. I think that would be the one closest to you, the next, right next door to you.
I'm sorry to have this discussion. Are there parameters? I guess I missed the memo on.
It was, bids were accepted until 4.
Oh,
But,
so that one's going to continue to be open?
well,
Or-
it'll be back up on, we'll put it
Yes,
back
yeah.
up once
Are you
council
interested?
authorizes me.
Well, it's twofold. I am, because my neighbor and I share the grass, actually. I can confirm that no one shows up to cut it, so we have been maintaining
So,
it.
all right.
No, I'm just wondering, is it worthwhile to put it up for bid again? If you say you're interested, I go, all right, then we can put it out for bid
Yeah, I
again.
mean, I'm interested, I guess, just because it's what it is, and it's there next to me. And the house was filled in, correct?
Yeah,
So, because when we cut, like, you can tell the dirt has receded, and there's stuff that sticks up out of the yard. So it's not very easy to build back on top of that, is my point.
Well, it depends how
The
architectural,
trash is receding through the dirt, how's that?
depends how architectural you are.
Yeah.
Vinny, you're there, right? Vincent? Yeah, okay. The phone was ringing again.
But you're saying there's construction, there's some type of construction material protruding through?
Yeah, if you walk through there, it's like the dirt, you know, So a lot of the rainwater that runs off of Klein above runs down that hill and washes. So now that the grass grows, my neighbor cuts it quite a bit, but you have to be careful because the dirt has washed away. And I believe when the house was leveled, a lot of that went into the ground. I'm not sure. But I also would be looking, I don't have the bids or anything yet, but I'm gonna have some water work done because of the rain water, that after 50 years of that home being in our family, we never ever had a water problem. And in the last 4 years, we've had a water problem running through the yard. And I can tell you that's never been a problem before. So I'm trying to get someone to give me an estimate on putting in a swell that will then probably need to be approved and all of that.
Could we just
But
make a motion to re-advertise?
You could make the
Your
motion.
motion to
That you can
re-advertise
do.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have to amend it?
No.
No, because you're not spending money to, well,
Right.
you will be, but you're not yet. So no, I don't think you have to amend the agenda for that.
Okay.
And the fact that this is on the agenda, open an award, so it's really, it's on the agenda.
Okay. Somebody has to make a motion.
Someone has to make a motion to re-advertise, yes.
I'd take $1 from you today, but it's like, I can't do that. I just want to see it gone.
yeah.
But we need a motion to re-advertise that property for our next meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilman Ritchie
I'll second
and seconded by Councilman Seibert. All those in favor say aye.
it.
Aye.
And you're going to re-advertise that for our next meeting, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Will you make note to send her a bid package or whatever, however you handle that?
Yeah, well, it'll be advertised, just come in and get one.
Great.
And I think, well, we could put it online for you too,
Okay.
just at our website.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good
I'm
luck.
all about making the town more beautiful, so.
I'm trying to do the same. I don't get the credit for it, but I'm working on it. All right, that's it for the Hudsondale properties. So you're going to work out the details of 132 and you do what you have to do.
I'll
Right.
talk in the Harold, yeah, yeah.
Well, you can talk to me too.
All right, well,
All right, thanks. All right, next we're going to be voting on the approval of the fire company ordinance for billing services, which was advertised, and so we'll need a motion to approve the fire company ordinance for the billing services.
I'll make a motion that we approve the fire company ordinance for billing for services.
I'll second it.
It's been made by Councilman Thomas, seconded by Councilman DeAndrea. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The ayes have it. The ordinance is passed. The next is the approval of resolution for the lease amount of the $71,049 for 5 years with MCT Muck Chunk Trust for the Dodge Durango police car, which is a new vehicle that we just purchased.
Correct.
And we just need the approval for Harold to go through and finish all the paperwork so they can start using it. Chief, do you have anything to say about the police car? Do you like it? Already? Now, with that, we have that grant that we're
Yes.
working on.
We have the grant.
Right, so, I mean, don't get it confused with another vehicle, correct?
Correct.
All right. So we need a motion to approve the resolution for the lease.
I'll make that motion to approve the resolution for the lease for the new Dodge Durango police vehicle.
I'll second it.
The motion's been made by Councilman Thomas and seconded by Councilman Miller. And roll call vote on that.
Teresa DeAndrea,
Yes.
Vincent Cutterford,
Yes.
Joseph Thomas,
Yes.
Norman Ritchie,
Yes.
Jeffrey Miller,
Yes.
Joseph Seibert,
Yes.
Paul Hatzick.
Yes.
22.
And next we have, we're gonna authorize the manager to advertise for bids for garbage collection. Since last year, we only did a 1-year garbage contract. So we have to re-advertise that, and hopefully we'll do better than we did last year with the bids.
My one question to council is, do you want to stay with the same terms or specs that we used for the winning bid with the 6-bag limit?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Did that save us much?
That I really
I
couldn't
didn't think
tell
it
you.
did, that's what I'm saying, I
didn't-
thought it
right.
came down a little because we rebid, but I didn't think it made a big difference.
It was only because one of the
Yeah.
vendors wanted it.
Yeah.
So we do need the motion to advertise or authorize the manager to advertise for the bids, which would be opened, I believe, in September.
September, correct.
So,
And when does the contract expire? Is it
December.
December, end of December, which
Yes.
we have time in case.
Right.
right.
Okay, all right.
I'll authorize the borough manager to advertise for the bids for the garbage, renewal of the garbage collection.
I'll second it.
It's been, motion's been made by Councilman Thomas, seconded by Councilwoman Teresa DeAndrea. And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The ayes have it, so you're authorized to advertise. Next on the list is discussion of, on Tank 2 painting proposal, which I know Harold's sick of hearing me talk about it since 2 years ago. When can we get that painted? But the tank is on the other side of town, up on below Plain Street.
Yes.
And the inside, from what I understand, is in good shape. And we just have to paint the outside, but it's like, offering you a dirty glass and give you a drink of water looking at it. So we need some discussion on that. Harold,
Now,
go ahead.
as I had said in the narrative, the original price that they had come back to us was $353.7. Now, understand, this is not a bid item. This is a CoStar's contractor, so we did not have to bid it. So we were able to do some negotiation with it. However, we went from $353.7 down to $348.7, after numerous discussions. And one of the things with this tank is that it does have lead-based paint on the exterior, so that's why the price is as high as it is. A normal painting of the tank would certainly not come near $300,000. Now, you have the option here of going ahead and authorizing me to bid this out. However, I do believe that you're going to come very close to the same number, just based on projects that have been done by the engineer and what those numbers had come in with for a similar size tank. They were in the $300,000 range. As you know, we had received COVID money. We received half of it. We're waiting for the second half, which will give us $256,000, which would go toward the painting of the tank. And then we would have to finance the rest of $92,700 if you choose to go with this contract. The contract also, what we'd be looking at here is we would certainly put some pressure on the contractor to get it done this fall. Otherwise, it would be in the spring. There's only a few times during the year that you paint tanks, and that's the spring and the falls.
Is this painting just the exterior?
Yes.
Yes.
Moving the lead.
I'm sorry?
Moving the lead.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not gonna be on site.
No, it would be abated.
It's a pretty interesting process too. They use these robots with fans that suck the paint off, that nothing gets into the atmosphere. I can't wait to see it. I mean, I never heard of it, but it's probably a nice toy.
That'll get rid of the problem, period.
Right.
Yes, it'll be gone.
Yes.
And this will be the end of it on our water tanks. Tank 1 had already been taken care of. Tank 2 still had some on. So council, it's entirely up to you which direction you want me to go with this.
Do you want to bid it, or should we go with the price that we, because originally wasn't that price over 400,000? And you worked that down.
Right, it was high.
I think this project has lingered long enough. Let's go with the non-bid approach.
Is that a motion?
It could be if you'd like.
I got a question. Instead of taking out a loan, what did we do with the money from the sale of the old Borough building?
We
And
still have it.
because we're not collecting anything on interest with that money laying in the bank, I think we'd be better off using that instead of taking out another loan.
Well, it had always been my practices and through my years of experience that you don't use your cash for a capital expenditure. You use other people's money for that.
What are the interest rates? You know offhand?
At this point, I don't know until we tell them that this is what we want to do.
What was it on the Durango? By 3.5, 3?
2.7 something like
Okay,
that.
all right.
Not
So,
that much more.
Huh?
I saw one just the other day, it's not that much more. This is a good time, but it's gonna decline.
Right.
If we can
well,
snag it, this is-
that's what looking good, and the Durango's a 5-year lease at under 3, and so this is probably not gonna be much longer than 5 years.
Right.
Because the amount's not that great, so you're probably talking 3%
Right.
or around there.
Yeah, and it's always better, as the, Harold said, it's better when you're using capital expenditures that you don't take from your monies within.
The only downside of it is you have to go through DCED to get approval. 'Cause it's
Exactly.
borrowing, and it is actually a loan, not
But
a lease.
we have the experience.
Yeah, yes, we do.
We've done some bonding.
So, we do have a motion to
Yes,
go with the non-bid price,
that's correct.
and we need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's made by Joe,
2 Joes.
yeah, I was gonna say 2 Joes, but it's like Joe Thomas and Joe Seibert. And but we'll have a roll call vote on that since we're gonna spend some money.
Joseph Thomas,
Yes.
Jeffrey Miller,
Yes.
Vincent Cutterford,
Yes.
Joseph Seibert,
Yes.
Teresa DeAndrea,
Yes,
Norman Ritchie,
Yes?
and Paul Hadzik.
Yes, finally. After 15 years of waiting for that to get paid.
Well, the $256,000 helped.
Hey, that was my state of emergency. Okay, next is 7 on the list there. Well, we need a motion to amend the meeting to add the coal tar letter which arrived today for council. And I'm glad someone's here from the museum because we did receive a letter today about the coal fire.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the amendments for both issues to the meeting agenda.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
I didn't hear the motion with
The-
Vinnie's,
the motion.
I didn't hear it.
The motion was to amend
Agenda.
the
Amend
agenda
for both items, yeah.
for both items?
That's what he
Yes.
said, yeah.
Yes.
For both items. Accept the amendment for
The paving
meeting
and-
for both items as listed, yes.
Okay, so,
I second it.
okay. And Councilman Seibert seconded. All those in favor say aye. For the
Aye.
amendment, okay.
What's the other item?
What's that?
It's a
Oh, I-
paving item. We'll get to it.
I was going to get to that.
I'm trying to keep an agenda.
It's marked in red, so I didn't know if I was supposed to say anything or not.
Mine's in green, so is that better?
But did everybody get a copy of the letter from Michael Bast?
Yes.
And should I read it?
Yeah.
What it says is, Dear Weatherly Borough Council, I am writing in regards to the Lehigh Valley Hopper Car sitting on the site of the former railroad shops. I am the operator of a heritage railroad serving the communities in the Kutztown area for both freight and tourist passenger trains. We use historic equipment such as this in our operation and would be interested in having the hopper car in our collection. My craftsmen have the resources to restore this car to a historically correct and operating condition. On a personal note, this particular car and I have already have a history. Many years ago, I was one of the folks who saved it from the Hazel and Shaft Colliery. I would be honored if council would entrust my railroad with its ongoing preservation. And from what I read out of this letter is they want it back.
Well, if I may,
Go ahead.
earlier on, we spent some money to preserve that.
No, I did not spend 25,000, they didn't spend any.
The car was actually taken, or not taken, but purchased and preserved, saved,
Hi,
whatever
Benny.
you want to call it, by the late John S. Taylor.
Well, let me finish. We didn't spend the money, but we made a motion to, if there was monies to be spent, we made a motion to spend collective monies, whatever that sum would be, to preserve that here and keep it here and not lose another piece of Weatherly's history. So based on this letter, we would be also honored to retain that coal car here and not give it up to this organization. So I would like to go on record that coal car will stay here in the borough of Weatherly.
Okay, that's a good thought. I mean, my vision of the thing is if we had a nice concrete pad that we could put it on and find a location for it to go, I mean, that would really be great.
Well, I think
But do we have it?
we've done that, but if Harold could elaborate on the permanent structure of what.
What we had done is, as you know, the rail had to be ripped up, you know, in certain areas because of the contamination and then the encapsulation taking place. What we did was, I worked with the contractor and we created a deep stone bed and they pulled the car onto the top of the stone bed. So it sits,
And it looks nice, it looks great.
as you've seen it.
This letter, this is exactly where that coal car came from.
Right.
It was hauled all the way from Kutztown, Pennsylvania, and then Norfolk Southern laid the rail, laid the ties,
Mhm.
and rolled it onto it. And, yeah, it's,
Yeah, I mean, we were
We
we were
didn't
pleased with the stone bed. I know there was some concern initially, it looked, I guess it was only going to be 4 inches of concrete. And for the ton of the size of that pole car, the concrete would eventually sink and not.
Right,
not
that's,
So the stone bed seems to be appropriate and, truly is the history of the community and why all of us are here. So for that railroad bringing in the pieces that I brought in and,
I mean, we didn't request the letter. Actually, I was in that the last meeting, because I just didn't feel well. But, I think council all voted to keep it.
Yes, we did.
They could have voted to say,
Would we need a motion to reject this letter, or?
Well, you don't need a motion, you can ignore it, or you can have a motion to reject it.
I'd rather say ignore it.
I'd like to make a motion to reject this letter and thus retain that coal car here in the borough of Weatherly, so we're restoring our history.
My question to Harold was, like, how do they prove it's their car? I mean, they don't register that with
Yeah.
PennDOT.
I think it's a moot
I
point.
probably have the paperwork to show that it's not their car anymore.
I believe that would be a moot point anyway.
Yeah.
That's my motion.
I mean, I don't know what they do with rail cars. I mean, you don't pull them over for speeding, you know?
This was purchased by my grandfather. The car was purchased by John Taylor in 90-something. And he had it with the help of lots of other great people.
Why don't we just hold off on the whole thing and just say, let's see where it goes? And when our attorney gets a letter from his attorney saying.
Why would don't we have the authority to do that now?
We do, and right now you do have a motion on the floor.
Right.
If there's no second, the motion dies for a lack of second, but it's up to, he made the motion, so it's really.
I'll second his motion.
Okay, so it's been made by Joe that we just
reject this letter
Reject the letter
and move
you're,
forward in retaining the Cola car.
I know the car needs some work. I spoke with Harold about it, you know, and I haven't climbed up and looked at it. So, you know, it's gonna need some attention down the road, one way or another, you know. But I do like the way it looks sitting there, and we did agree on it as a group several months ago.
Yeah.
So I'd kinda like, and
Thank you.
we don't have anything else left down there, really.
No, we don't.
You know, I mean,
Thank you.
hey, I'm okay with that. So the motion's been made by Joe Thomas and seconded by Joe Seibert, and we're going to reject the letter that we received from Mr. Bass. And could we have a roll call vote on that?
Jeff,
I want to make sure everybody's in agreement to it.
Jeffrey Miller,
Yes.
Norman Ritchie,
Yes.
Joseph Thomas,
Yes.
Teresa DeAndrea,
Yes.
Vincent Cutterford,
Yes.
Joseph Seibert,
yes.
and Paul Hadzik.
Yes. Okay, on the second amendment to add paving of back lot and impoundment yard, pricing just came in and contractors will be starting next week. Harold could probably explain that. The police have their impounded cars like down at the sewer plant, and you know, it's a lot better for them to have it here. So we're just having a problem with trying to get a fence. Anybody know any cheap fence people? That would be nice. So, Harold, do you want to explain?
Sure. What I have given you, we received 3 bids. P.T. Adams is the gentleman that's working on the steel plant area. He does his own paving, and what he had said there, where you see combined, that would be the parking lot in the back and the impound yard. We have 2 separate locations right here. For him to have his men and equipment up here was $13,000, and then he said buy your own material, that way, you know, he wouldn't have to charge the tax that he's gonna receive on it. So, as you can see where his number came in at 18,375, Pensy Supply is gonna be paving next week our roads. And we asked them to give us a price, which I just got today. So as you see, their number was at 18,333.50. And then Mr. Umbriack had given us a price, just numbers on the impound yard and on the parking lot at 18,581. So the fact is that we have 2 contractors that are gonna be here in the area, no mobilization charge to us because they're already here. So, and I would like, if anything, to get this done before winter because it's really muddy back there in the winter, particularly for plowing. So the lowest bid, because we are actually in the bid area to solicit telephonic bids, and we received 3 of them, would be the Pensy Supply at $18,333.50.
Pretty impressive they were that close.
Isn't it?
So I guess the issue for us today is, you know, to look for a motion to approve, to get this done and accept the lowest bid and get it over with today.
There seems to be an ever-growing concern. PennDOT, as you know, is doing milling on the road from the White Church to 93, and then they're gonna continue from the White Church, and they're gonna go out to 309 eventually, but they had to shut the job down today because they can't get the blacktop. They're gonna resume early tomorrow morning, but they got X amount of loads of blacktop, and Kyle told me that.
Was that an equipment breakdown at the asphalt plant?
It's
or?
just they're backed up.
I think
Everybody wants their blacktop at one time.
I think they were doing something between McAdoo and Monterey City, and they're a priority, the interstate, when the contractors are out there, and then they shut us down.
Right.
So I think they were doing some kind of work out there from what I heard.
What I think is when our number comes up to get it, we need to take that.
Well, it's, actually, it's our contract. It's gonna be, while they're here paving our roads,
Right.
this is gonna be
Yeah.
part of it,
So
so.
that's.
And that's next week.
Yes, they're telling me that as of right now, they're talking about Monday and Tuesday coming in. Again, weather conditions and
Sure.
availability of supplies could move that,
So
but,
that'd be a smart move to incorporate that right in with the,
right,
as long as we're getting the blacktop.
right.
Anybody else have any thoughts,
No.
concepts, concerns on it?
I think it's just a good idea because you got new cop, you got a new vehicle for the police. And not only that, they have their other vehicles and they keep some of the personal vehicles back there. Then you got a new building you're tracking. You know, so if you keep the mud out there, you don't have mud to deal with. If you pave it, then you don't have to worry about it. So I think that's a big part too.
Yeah, plus the impound yard, there's a lot of responsibility there. Like when they impound a car, it's like, they don't just set it there. If something happens to it, you know, there's just a lot of things. So at least it's one step further to getting that complete.
Are you supposed to put a garage back there?
Someday.
Someday, you're talking, that's a huge expense right now.
Right. Always put it on the page area?
Well, let's put it this way, the way we're approaching everything here, it doesn't impede the garage being put in.
That's really my question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, we have a motion, and we have a second by the two Joes. And since it was a bid, let's have a roll call vote.
Norman Ritchie,
Yes.
Joseph Seibert,
Yes.
Jeffrey Miller,
Yes.
Vincent Cutterford,
Yes.
Joseph Thomas,
Yes.
Teresa DeAndrea,
Yes,
and Paul Hadzik.
Yes. Okay, and with that said, Norm's favorite words.
One more thing.
Oh, okay.
I've been tasked to invite everybody here and also the public that we are having our dedication of the new rescue that you guys voted for. I don't know how long ago it was, but on August 27th, I'll be at Urana Park, going with the same, with the Webley Festival. And if you guys want to be there by 3:30, we're having our dedication.
When is that, the
Everybody-
27th?
27th of August.
I already designated the chief's daughter, Brooke,
To break
to
the champagne.
break the champagne for me, so, but I'll be there.
Okay.
I just won't break anything
3:30,
in the new truck.
August 27th for the dedication.
Anything else? Also, tonight, I think there's a
National
National
Night Out.
Night Out.
National Night Out. That's out at the park. And Seth, all the equipment came in. I'm not know if you were aware of it. My brother and I are sponsoring trout in the schools, in the science room. And finally today from China, after 3 months of waiting, we got all the filtering system, and I'll be at the school tomorrow, not for a picture, but if you want to take a look at what the science teachers have to put together. It's going to be a real, it's going to be a real neat program for them. So I just wanted to let you know that as a point of interest. And it's sort of, it's like all of council, even though my brother and I sponsored it, but the council sort of said, hey, if we sponsor it, we'll stock the fish in this creek here.
I've seen this project before.
Okay.
I think we have to ask the school for permission to be there first.
Who, you?
Yeah, I can't just walk in, so I'll ask the school and
Well, when I walk in with $2,000 worth of equipment, I think they'll let you go in. So, I don't think that's gonna be an issue.
we'll figure it out.
I already talked to them today about I was gonna reach out to you. But, that will be, the fish eggs will come in September. And, sometime in the spring, they'll be stocking them in this creek.
Great project, I followed this through at
Okay.
another building, so yes, I know the project, it's a good one.
Anybody else have any other nonsense they wanna come up
you were asked about the monkey bars out there, and does the council have to approve that, okay? That the person approached you.
Should we bring that up before, or that's not on the agenda?
It's just not on the agenda, you have to vote to put it on.
Do you know what we're talking about?
I don't, well, yeah. 'cause
I
there's
thought
an
somebody
item-
was gonna be here to bring it
There's an
up.
item
Or
there.
she had to work, okay? Somebody called in and she got called into work, okay? And he's working, Okay.
So what we're talking about here
Yeah.
is the red climbing tower that we're gonna be taking down. Beth Parker,
Yes.
son,
Robert Bryan.
would like us to give it to him. Now, you authorized us to take it down, but we didn't do the disposition of it. So,
Why are we taking it down?
because it's a hazard.
Yeah, and so if we give it to somebody else and
They're
they
gonna
get
have-
injured on it, they're gonna say we gave them a
That's
hazardous
what I-
piece of
that's what
equipment.
That's
Should they,
exactly.
well, I think he's gonna use it for a tree stand to be smart.
Well, yeah.
No,
No.
I agree with the solicitor 100%. If we,
Well,
if it's-
can't we have him sign a waiver of liability?
No,
Yeah, we can.
Well, you're better off just,
you're no better off not having a waiver because,
you don't gain anything by this.
I know. We're not gaining anything by it right
you
now.
hand down something that is knowingly defective or a hazard, and you're gonna hand it down to someone else, they're also inheriting that hazard and that, and all the troubles that go with it, so.
Is there a legal change if he buys?
Well, then we have to, if we sell it, then we, again, if it has any value, then there's a procedure for selling assets, just like we sell other things with occasionally lots or whatever we do it,
Should
so.
have to bid it.
Understood, but is there a legal change if he buys it once you go through that process?
Well, I would honestly still,
It adds his product.
I would still have, even if you wish to do that, I would still have them sign a waiver that anyone's bidding on this is a waiver, because we're taking it down for that purpose. We know it's defective, it's in sad shape. So, yeah,
Hold harmless.
yeah, yeah.
I'm totally against even the possibility of selling it, much
Actually,
less giving it away.
I don't want anything to do with it either, to be honest with you.
Well,
We
what I
don't need
think,
any
what I
headaches.
think we should do is put it on the trailer, take it up to Cressy's, get a couple of bucks and put wood chips where the tower was. And that way we get our money back.
That was gonna be my request to council,
Be it as
that we
made, yes.
scrap it.
Absolutely,
And then we're out of it.
yeah, that's exactly
Unless the
right.
museum wants it.
No,
No,
All right.
let's presume and take it to the scrapyard as we decided to do before.
Yeah, we don't need to vote on that. He
No,
can just,
no.
he's already authorized to get rid of it, right?
yep,
Well, get rid of it tomorrow.
before somebody else wants it.
Yeah, I was thinking about it for the backyard. Okay, with that said, and no one else has anything else to say? Norm?
Make a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
And that was Teresa calling. We have a motion to adjourn by Norm Ritchie, seconded by Teresa DeAndre. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed, ayes have it, we're adjourned.